Hello everybody, it's Beth's Golden. Today I actually have a really fun project that we're working on. Actually, it's been the course of several days, and it is this pocket letter. The theme is diamonds and denim. So what I did was I took a pair of jeans that my daughter had 10 years ago. I've been hanging on to them for that long, excuse me. And I created the base of this out of that denim. So here are the jeans, and as you can see, I've cut them up and you know, pretty much used them for my project. But what I did was I first took the glitter Mod Podge and I put it over the denim, and then I adhered it to a baseball card, and I did the Mod Podge on the other side. So they're pretty firm. There's a lot of structure to them. And then from there, I took, it's the Folk Art Cottage White paint, and I stamped this image onto the cards. A couple of them. Here, 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 and here. Just different areas of the face. And what I really liked about this image was these little dots looked like you could, you know, do diamonds on them or something. So that was my inspiration. Now, after I did that, I put them in here. And like right here, you notice that this image, there's some bling, and it's a little bit gummed up right now because of the Mod Podge. But what I liked about these jeans was I thought that the little blingy print was so cute. And you guys, I think I bought the jeans for her 10 years ago at Walmart. I think I paid $6 for them. But I just thought they were so cute. So, and then what I did was I put in a couple loose little charms, added, you know, some bling for my stash, and then I ran this silver border along the edge. So what I want to do from here is I want to create a little embellishment thingy to go off of the side, and I thought that I would do that with you guys today. And I'm going to use the leftovers of my denim to do this. I'm going to do two things. I'm going to create a heart. It's going to be a layered image, and then I'm also going to create a flower, and I'm going to use my leftovers to do this. And the first thing I need to do is I'm going to need to start on my heart, because I need to cut, I need to stamp 1, 2, 3, 4 images of this. 2 of the images are going to go on the denim, 1 on this side, 1 on the opposite side, and then the other 2 are going to go on this piece of cardstock. So let me go ahead and do that first. Before I do that though, I need to trim off this bottom, because this is what I'm going to use to create my flower. This bottom right here. And maybe this. I think I'm probably going to need more than that though, so I'll probably end up cutting this down, but we'll get to that in a minute. So from here, let me just kind of trim this up a little bit so I know what I'm working with. And this whole point of this this video today is just to show you some things that you can do with leftover denim and fabric in your stash. I absolutely love fabric and repurposing something that, you know, you no longer need, especially something like my daughter's jeans. I mean, if these had like huge sentimental value, I obviously I wouldn't send them off to someone else, but it's kind of cool that literally the base of this has been made from something that I pretty much was just going to get rid of. So, and it's going to look so awesome. So the first thing I need to do is I'm going to stamp this in our acrylic paint in black. This is a company called Embellishments. I found them at a stamp expo when they were here, and they had really beautiful art that they embellished with bling, and I really loved it. But as we get to the blingy part, I'm gonna tell you where you can go. The prices for this actually are not bad for the bling, because they use like the crystals and such, and the prices were not bad at all. But I did try to get, you know, go to Amazon and things like that, and really you should just go through them because they really were fairly reasonable. But yeah, I bought that stamp, and then I bought another one through them, and I just like how they're made, you know, to be cut out and whatnot. So I'm not like covering this really heavy because I do want it to, I don't want it to bleed too much. If it does, it's not like the end of the world, but I think I am going to actually do this all on the same side. And if some of the image doesn't show up, it's okay. Like, yeah, I need to go a little bit heavier than that. So if some of this image like doesn't show up, that's totally fine, because I can cut around it and use the image that does. And you'll see what I mean as I continue on. I also have animals home today and a full family, so if you hear a lot in the background, that is why. Let me try it right here. See how this works this time. This is a cling foam stamp, and it's already rubber, so there's already a padding, so you don't have to use it. That came out really good. Look at how pretty that worked. I don't have to put a foam pad under it because of the way the stamp is. Look how pretty that is. Okay, one more time up here, and then I'll clean the stamp, and we will go on to inking the stamp onto the StazOn, onto the paper with StazOn. All right. So let's see from here what this one is doing. All right. There you go. Okay, that looks good too. All right, I'm pretty pleased with that. And again, I just used good old pure black acrylic by Folk Art. It's plaid product. Really great paint. And let me go ahead and just clean up this stamp. Okay, so I have this all cleaned up, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp my next two images on cardstock. And then I'm going to set this aside all to dry. And then we'll come back to it and finish this up, and I'll do the flower as this dries. All right, so I'm just using my good old, actually I'm doing Memento on this. I thought it was going to be StazOn, but I grabbed this pad instead, which is, that's totally fine. It will dry well and won't bleed, which is what I'm most concerned about. Beautiful. Two of these. Okay, one more. Awesome. And then we will just take my chamois that has been used quite a bit and get it soaked down a little bit. One thing that I've learned about these chamois is I thought that they would just be, I actually went to the hardware store and like Home Depot and Lowe's, because I thought that these chamois were just like regular chamois that you use to dry a car with. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to spend this much money on a stamp chamois, you know, that's clearly just been repackaged and rebranded you know, and I can just use the same thing for way cheaper. Well, come to find out, it's not the same thing. They are different. So I only use my stamp chamois on my stamp. All right, so that's the stamping that we're going to do today. And from here, I am going to make the little flowers. Now, how I'm going to do this is, you might have seen it before. It's kind of a, I think I learned it 10 years ago how to do this. But it's still pretty cool. And if you have leftover fabric, you don't have to do this with denim. This works great with fabric. It also works really well with ribbon. So keep that in mind. Sky's the limit on this one. But the first thing I need to do is I need to use a double-sided adhesive. So let me take this and move this off for now. I need to use a double-sided adhesive sheet. And the sheets that I've been using that work great are actually from Oriental Trade. I think they were like $6, and I believe I got 5 or 10 of them. And they're double-sided tape sheets, basically. And what you do is you cut a circle in the middle of them, depending on how big you want, and then you build your flower from that. Now, as I was looking for this, I got super excited because I came across something that I forgot that I had. And these are probably about 5 or 6 years old. And they're called Base Bling Adhesive Dots. And they're these. They're already done for you. These I got from Close to My Heart. But I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to show you, it looks like I've already done 2, basically what the flowers, what you can use the fabric to create. And that is these little cute fabric flowers. And so I had built some on here, and then when you're done, you just peel them and stick them on your project like an embellishment. So how cool is that? So if you don't want to go through the time of creating your own dots or your own circles, maybe this company still has it. I don't know. I haven't bought from them or sold for them in probably 5 or 6 years, but anyway, you can check it out. Or to me, this is easy enough as it is, and I like because I can, you know, customize my sheet. So these sheets, this is just like this one here. I got it from Oriental Trading Company, probably longer than 10 years ago because, well, no, maybe 10 years ago. So I should check to see if they still have that. And if you want to use a full sheet for something, there's a part right here that it is nicely cut and it comes right on off, the film does. But we need both sides. So I want to create kind of a larger flower. So that's why I'm using this and not my pre-made dots, as they're called. They're called adhesive dots from Close to My Heart. So I'm just going to use, there we go. All right, so I'm just using a circle cutter that I have. You could run this through your die cut machine if you have one, your Cuttlebug, you know, do a die set. Any kind of circle cutter would work on this. This is one by Creative Memories. You know, it's a dinosaur, so it's pretty old, but it still works. I don't know if it's still available, but it's what I use. So I really still like it. All right, so this is a good size for what we're going to do. I'll set this off to the side. All right, so from here, I'm going to want to remove just this top sheet. And for this particular project, I might remove the bottom. I don't know. So it's going to have the clear coating right there like that. Just going to place it on my craft mat. And then from here, I'm going to take some of this leftover denim I have, cut it down into a strip. Does not have to be perfect by any means. So I'm just going to cut a strip off of it. I like making flowers like this because in nature, nothing is ever perfect. So, you know, it doesn't matter if some of this is longer or narrower, because, you know, that's the beauty of nature, is nothing's perfect. So the more random and non-uniform something is, I think better. All right, and now this is super sticky stuff. I just tie a knot at the very end. And what that does is this allows me to create my centerpiece. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my glass mat. This is the Tim Holtz glass mat that Tonic created, and I really like it. I'm just going to move that. And I'm going to kind of put this in the center here and get it lined up, because I'm going to want my dot to go right there. All right, so that looks like that's pretty good. Now, like I said, this is really, really sticky. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to just pounce it right in the middle, right like that, and that is going to stay. Then from here, I'm going to twist my fabric and just start to lay it down like so, and it'll hold. So I really want to make sure that I do a pretty good job of laying it down where I want it to go. And if I need more fabric, it's totally okay. I can go cut some more and just start wherever it ended. And I'll show you some other ones that I have made with leftover fabric that I still have. These are really cute also as hair pieces. You know, you can do this and then back it on something like felt, and then put a hair clip on the back and use it as a hair piece. That's really cute. All right, and I'm going to need some more. So we cut some more off. Look how cute that's coming along though. Looks like a fun little shabby chic denim flower. Okay, so I wasn't so careful on this one. I might not be able to get that up. That's okay. All right. And then I just keep laying it down. Twist and lay, twist and lay. Now we're getting down to the edge. And whatever excess I have, I can go ahead and just trim off. And it doesn't look like I'm going to have much. Right on. All right, so here you go. Look how cute that is, you guys. So cute. I'm going to kind of push it in. Make sure that's good and covered. Look how adorable that is. All right, so this one didn't get adhered there, which is just fine. So I'm just going to cut that off, and then I'm also going to flip it over, and I'm just going to cut around the edges to get the excess adhesive off, the stuff that I didn't use, because my flower's basically, you know, done now. And I will go ahead and just back it with some cardstock so that I can adhere this more readily to the embellishment type charm that I'm making. And then I'll finish the flower on the cardstock because I think I'm going to put some blingy in the centerpiece. All right, so that's my flower. And let me show you a couple other ones that I've made with some fabric so you can just get an idea. I actually have quite a bit. I didn't realize I had this many. But these have been made for, goodness, I want to say at least 4 years, if not more. And what I did on these was I popped some different centers in. This one was actually by Prima. It's their gem center. This fabric was left over. I think Stampin' Up! Did all this fabric. And then here's just your basic bling type centerpiece that you can get, you know, in those packages at your favorite craft store. And then I did some resin flower centerpieces. And then just a different type of a bling centerpiece. But on the back of all these, I went ahead and backed them with fabric. So they're a bit more pliable than this one will be because it'll be backed with cardstock. And I, you know, there's nothing else back here. It's just the adhesive, and it's held up. I mean, this is really held up. It's not going anywhere. So anyway, that's just you know, some ideas on what you can do with your leftover fabric. You know, cool embellishments ready for your hair or your cards or your layouts or anything your heart fancies. From here, I actually want to cut out a circle to place this on, and then we'll finish this up. And I actually see a little bit of that orange, and the reason why I like to trim this up now is just because I can see that orange film, and it'll help me remove all of that excess easier than after I lay it. Okay, so I'm just going to take off the backing of this. Oh, my fingers are just sticking to everything today. All right. And this can prove to be the hardest part of this entire process. And sometimes it's not. All right, so I'm just, yeah, there's a little bit of a smell to it as well. And then I'm just gonna place this on this pre-done circle. And since I had trimmed off some of the excess adhesive, naturally my circle is going to be a wee bit big. So I'm going to go ahead and just trim off the edges. It doesn't matter because you're not going to really see that. You know what I mean? All right, now that is so adorable. So from here, I was thinking that I could put one of these centerpieces, like 3 little centerpieces, but now I'm looking at this, and this just hit me, but the adhesive dots, the little embellishments that I made before, I think would be cute, one of these as the centerpiece of this. So let me see here. Yeah, I like that. How cute is that? So this little flower is done and ready to be added as an embellishment. Super easy, really adorable. And let's face it, you buy a pack of flowers, you're going to pay anywhere from $1 to $3 a piece. And you made this literally with your scraps. Can't get better than that. All right, so now I need to see if these are dry yet. I think I'm going to run a heat gun over these, especially this one. And then we will finish up this embellishment. So here's another trick. When you can't get your ink to dry as quickly as you'd like to, what you can do is just heat emboss it with some embossing powder. I don't know what, my paper that I'm using is a slick side of a cardstock. It's not my favorite, and I really should have done a flat cardstock, but I didn't. So I don't want to totally throw it away and give up. So I'm just going to lay out some embossing powder on it. And if it doesn't all adhere, that's cool. That means that that spot's dry, but this will force the whole thing to dry. Once all of that goes from white to this shiny glossy black, you know you're good. So that's just a little trick I've learned, that when I've been trying to dry ink on something and it's not drying, I just simply emboss it and I'm good to go. Okay, so from here I need to cut out all of these pieces, and I'm going to first by cutting this out. Now I want to do it in 4 layers. That's why I cut 4 images. So the first layer is going to be the whole piece, and then the second layer will be smaller, and so on and so forth. The reason why I like this stamp is because there are definite clear distinctions on great spots that I can cut. So for this one, I'm going to cut this, and then my next one, I was thinking 1, 2, 3, and 4 was going to be my spots. So for this one, my base is going to be this. Okay, so as you can see, I have the same image that I cut down into smaller sizes. Now, the cool thing with this is if you want to do this and you want there to be a lot of color variation, you could just, you know, do the stamp on a different color cardstock each time. For this particular project, I really wanted to stick with that denim theme. So I just did it alternating between the blue cardstock and the denim. The reason why I didn't do it all on denim is because although there is some structure to this, it still is a bit flimsy, and the cardstock will be able to give it some stability. And that's why I went ahead and alternated, starting with the cardstock as my base. The fun thing with this is when you do it, you're going to layer it up and you're going to give it some extra dimension. And to do that, you're going to use pop dots. You can use white pop dots, but I don't like them as much as I like the black pop dots. And the reason is because depending on what you're using this on, mine's going to be as an embellishment, kind of free floating, is if you get a side glimpse and if it's black, it all kinds of blends in and it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. With white pop dots, you're going to see that white between the layers on its side, and that can be a little bit of an eyesore. Now, if you don't get black pop dots, these foam squares, and I gotta admit, they're not always the easiest to find, but you can find all of this on this site, Stamplistic. Go ahead and just take a Sharpie marker around the edges of your white pop dots. Just take a black Sharpie marker and color in black, and that'll work just fine too. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to layer, and then at the end we're going to add our bling. So look how cute that is. And then see, turn it over on the side. There's nothing cumbersome sticking out like a sore thumb. You can't even really tell that there is anything. I mean, it looks like one cohesive piece. So I really like the black pop dots for this. And if you can't do it, you know, black Sharpie marker on your slides of your pop dots before you layer them. All right, so now we're not done with this because we're gonna do something pretty special with it. And that is, we are going to lay out some bling. Now, I'm gonna do crystals on this. You could use your gemstones, the smaller ones. I don't know if I have them over here. The little ones that are like this size, but they don't sparkle as much as a real crystal. So this is just going to give it some extra pizzazz. And also I'm going to follow along the dots that are provided in the stamp. So I have ordered crystals from Stamplistic, and I also have done them on Amazon, and I have to tell you that at the end of the day, I'm probably only going to order them from here. The prices on them are not horrible, and I think they're a little bit better quality and more bang for your buck. Plus, you can get them in specific colors. So for this, like, see, these are all from Stamplistic. So I have these beautiful colors in here, and these are mixed up from Amazon. So there's, you know, I have to go through and sort the colors. I saved a little bit of money, but, you know, at the end of the day, really wasn't worth it. All right, so I think for this one, I'm gonna go ahead and use these gorgeous, I can't say it, you guys. You have to forgive me and help me say how this right in your head right now. It's Jonquil, Jonquil? Is that what they are? Jonquil color? I don't know, but I think that they're pretty, and I think it'll look nice on this. Okay, and then there's some big spots on here, and I do have some that are other, like that yellow would work with those bigger spots. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of dump these out like so. And what makes these so cool is that the way that they're cut, depending on how many faucets there are, is basically how sparkly they're going to be when it's all said and done. And trust me, in real life, it's going to be beautiful. But before I do that, I was going to pull out some, you know what? I'm not going to. You can't hardly see the circles on this, so I'm not going to worry about that. About getting the right sizes. Right now I'm going to go and just use some gem tack. It's permanent glue for, you know, you just need something permanent for this project. I haven't used this in a while, so I need to probably clean my nib. So if you go and you look at these crystals, there's always like a little tool that you can get with it to help you pick them up. However, the tool that is sold is pricey, and I've discovered that the quick stick that you can buy at Joann's for $8, or if you have your 50% coupon off, you can get it for $4, works just as well, and it saves you a couple bucks. So I am a big advocate of saving money, so I prefer the quick stick. So I'm just going to lay out a couple dots of adhesive right now. And then you're just going to go through and you're going to pick up your gems and lay it on. You definitely want to have something to pick up the gems with though, because if you try to just lay it on with your fingers or tweezers, it's very frustrating. Trust me, I've tried. That's helpful and I didn't do with this is if you put this in a tray, if you put your gems in a tray, and then if you don't have any that are facing up, you can just shake the tray and that'll get them to face up and you can easily grab them. Make sure that whatever gem glue you use, it does dry clear. This does. All right, so I got my gems on, and as they dry, the glue, the adhesive will dry clear, and all you'll be able to see is just that beautiful sparkle of those crystals. And these are genuine Swarovski, or I don't know how to say it, Swarovski gems. So when you give a loved one this, or your friend or something like that, this quality, you're really giving them a nice quality, a nice gift. You know, this little bag runs over $10, and this isn't the top of the line with what you can get, but it's not the bottom of the line either. I love them. They're so fun. So when you're done, you definitely don't want to toss what you don't use. You're going to want to save it for another day. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and just put this whole little embellishment deal together and attach it to the pocket letter that I'm doing in the swap and call it good. Okay, so I need to string this all together, and you can use a chain or you can use twine. I'm going to just use this trim. It's a wax coated type twine, and I like it because it's easy to string things on, and when I make the little bow, it'll hold its shape quite nicely. First thing I need to do though is I need to poke a little hole in each of these things. So I need to find a good spot to do that. And then I also have this cute little butterfly charm because I like to work in threes. And on that one, I kind of hid it. So I'm going to run this one first. Oh, and on the back, I really should have put my name, but I didn't, so I'll sign it. Whenever you, whenever you do a project like this, always make sure you sign your work. There was a time that I didn't, and it's actually my sister who brought it to my attention. She's like, you worked hard on this and people want to know who made this, and if I'm not home, because I had made her something, a chalkboard, she's like, if I'm not home, I want them to be able to see who made it, if her family has people over or whatever. But granted, you probably can't read what that says, but still, regardless, always sign your work. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and string this one through first. And then I'm going to string this one through. And then finally the cute little butterfly to top it off with. And I'm going to make the twine a little long. I won't need all that, but Better safe than sorry. Okay, and then here's my little pocket letter. And I want to place this in this first. You know what? She's gonna want to put it on her, in her album, and she might want to include this. So I should probably put a separate hole so it won't interfere. That shouldn't interfere with her putting it on a binder. Okay, I'm just thinking out loud. I need to leave her some space to put it on her binder, but there you go. So this is literally what you can do with leftover, you know, fabric or jeans, or you know how you like, I don't know about you, but I'll get stains on my clothes. I'm notorious for spilling coffee on myself, and I'll have just, you know, beautiful fabric or something, and I'll dump coffee down the front of me and it's ruined. Like, I can't wear that again. You can't wear stained clothes out in public, right? And so I will, depending on how big the stain is, so just repurpose it. Like, don't let it go to waste. Use it in your art. So I hope she enjoys this. This was so much fun to do. I hope you guys got some ideas. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comments below. I would love to know how you use fabric or repurpose things in your craft room, in your art. I would absolutely love to know. If you could please share that with me down below. I would love to read it and just find new ways to, you know, repurpose things. I just love that. That's one of my favorite things about this craft, is repurposing. If you haven't subscribed, please, please, please go ahead and do so. And like the video if you enjoyed it. That helps me out, and feel free to share it. I would love that. All right, until next time, happy crafting.